Good morning from the north. Here's our morning inspection. Let's see how the fish are doing. Now with Discus and many other fish, when they're doing well, they're up front on the glass. They're like, oh, my human is in the room, and they're begging for food. I've already given them a small feeding. I always start them off with some light granules, and I let them digest that for a bit. Give them a little flake, small amounts of each variety, enough that it all gets eaten. Discus are a little slower to eat than most fish, but mine eat very quickly. They're quite aggressive. I can show you that. I'll throw a small amount of food in here right now and watch them how they go. Food's in. Okay, now just watch once they notice it's there. Watch the vigor. This is healthy discus behavior. This is what you want to see. Everybody's participating, and it's a social event for them. They're very quickly eating that all well. Now, when you get new fish, especially when you get 3 inchers and stuff, you often get them home and you have no idea what they were eating. If you can talk to the source and you know what the breeder was giving them, that's always very helpful, because it's hard to get discus to eat new food. So you end up in a situation where you got young fish and they're not adapting to the diet that you have available. I'm even dealing with that now with this older fish. She does not want to eat my menu. She eats a few items off my menu, but if she ate my whole menu, she'd be doing a lot better. She's doing real good. She has gained weight since she got here, but some of these fish are just like that. You'll get a couple like that. You buy a large batch, you get some that just don't want to eat as well as others. So you can see over here, I got my young ones looking for scraps at the bottom. Some of them have a bit better appetites than others, but promoting the appetite in these fish is part of the problem, or part of the battle. And keeping your temperature up will help them have a better appetite. And you need them to eat. You need them to eat constantly. I feed these fish 6 times a day, even though I've got many that are in the adult range. None of them are 2 years old yet. And until all my fish are more than 2 years old, I can't switch to just a couple times a day because they're still growing. And a growing discus metabolizes its food in about an hour and a half, and as they get bigger, it creeps into the 2 hour range. But it's pretty quick regardless, and you want to keep some food in their bellies at all times while they're growing. Now, if you have adult discus, this is not important. You can give them food in the morning and you can give them food at night. No issue there. That's an okay feeding schedule for a full-grown discus. But if you've got babies, you got 3 inchers, and you're growing them out, very important that they get, I say, 6 small feedings a day, like the one you just saw me give them. That amount. So if you can't do that on your own, you should deploy a couple of auto feeders, so when you're not at home, they're taking care of it for you. You probably need more than one, so that you can stagger the times and get a feed out every 2 hours, because the auto feeders tend to do it every 4 hours. So if you buy 2 and you start them properly or time them properly, offset the timers, so to speak, you can still manage to get your 2 hour feeds. You put one on one side of the tank, one on the other side of the tank. It's the feeding schedule that makes the water change schedule so important. With UV and heavy filtration, and an overstock tank, I can change my water every 4 days. I can go a little longer if I had to, but that's where I like to keep it. That's where I notice things stay nice, stay clear, and I get good behavior out of the fish. you'll notice the fish's behaviors decline if you let your water go too long. And that's because they're under stress. And if they're under stress, then their immune systems are dropping. If their immune systems are dropping, that thing that might be floating around in your tank's going to crawl into these fish. And you're going to have a bigger problem on your hands. So clean your gravel, clean your water, run UV or Purigen or however you want to do it, and keep that column bacteria free. I'm actually eventually going to get Purigen and UV. I'm gonna run Purigen in my filters, my hang-on backs, and I'm gonna run UV down on my sump. And I'm gonna, just step it up an extra layer. That stuff's expensive, but it's I'm doing it, at least for this tank. I'm not gonna bother with the Oscars. It's overkill. I've already overkilled the Oscars. They're doing so well down there. The Discus might be jealous. But it's sad I can't run both those fish at the same temperature. The Oscars wouldn't put up with this temperature. It would make them breed, and it would make them aggressive, and it would cause problems. It's not that they can't live at this temperature; they certainly can. But the Oscars need to be cold to keep them calm. The Discus need to be really warm to keep them growing, to keep them strong. The other benefit of a temperature of 85 degrees or higher. So I set to 86, so I never fall below 85, or I hope not to. In the winter I set to 87 because the house gets cold, so I could potentially drop lower than 85 in some portions of the tank. And say I have a pocket over here that's 83.5 degrees, that's a pocket where parasites get to do their nasties. At 85 and above, parasites, they go dormant, and if they stay dormant for like a period of, like say if ick stays dormant because the temperature's high, and it stays dormant for a period of 2 weeks, it just dies. And that happens to a lot of parasites. I can't name them all. There's some that it does, and there's some that it has absolutely no effect. Temperature will have no effect, but a good number of the nastiest parasites will be slowed down or nullified simply by heat. And when you got thousands of dollars of fish in your tank, you apply every layer of protection that you can. And by turning the heat up, they don't get sick. If they don't get sick, you're not spending hundreds of dollars on meds. So, although turning it down to some people try and run these things at 82 degrees. I've heard people try and run them at 79, 80 degrees. You can get these fish to live like that, but guess what? You're gonna have complications very easy. They're gonna get sick all the time, and the money you're saving on hydro will be absorbed tenfold through the expensive medication. Your trade it's not a fair trade. Just keep them warm. Don't worry about the cost of the electricity. It's marginal compared to the cost of meds. So there's my message for today. I don't even know what to title this video, but I'll figure that out. But yeah, keep that temperature up. I think that's what I'll title it. It's not going to help your plant situation. I'm having trouble finding plants that want to survive in this range. Anubis will do it, no problem. And this ferny stuff is here that I got stuffed in, that grows like wild at this temperature. So it's sort of a mossy. It's supposed to be a floating plant, but I stuff it in there and use that fake plant as a lattice. And once it grows out even more, you'll see no fake plant, and you'll just see that plant. So that one's working really good for me. I'm not a botanist. I can't tell you what it's called. There's what it looks like. Let me get a little closer so you can see the little spikes on it. Okay, so you get a bunch of that. It grows fast, and it likes the heat. And growing fast is good because then it's processing lots of junk out of your water, right? So whatever that is, there's few plants that seem to want to survive in the heat, but that one does okay. That one does okay, and it looks kind of nice, you know. You come back and it looks kind of nice. It's gonna look like a big old bush of that in a couple more months. I got it spread around all over the place. I got some going up there as I propagate more. I had like a small little inch of this stuff in the beginning, and it's grown out to all this. So I'll just keep going with it. I got some Anubis going. The swords, they'll last a while. I bought these last spring, but now they're just withering away. And long term, they don't last. A lot of the stuff doesn't last long term. I tried Money Wart. Looked great for about 2 months. Then it just didn't make it. So that little piece of Anubis I've had it in there forever. It's not taking off, but it's not dying. So it keeps losing leaves, that's why. So Anubis and whatever this mossy stuff is are the only two I've kept alive long term. But you know, is it about plants or is it about Discus? What's your tank about, right? If you want to plant the tank, you can have one and have Discus, but you got to find the plants that will accept 85 degrees. People think I'm crazy running my tank this hot. Look at my fish. Look at my growth rates. It's not uncommon. Many Discus keepers run their tanks warm because it keeps their fish healthy. Period. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.